What up, reader fam? Today is the day. The time has come. Today we are going to be discussing Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Dark Artifices trilogy and the basically millionth book in the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I'm actually not sure what book this is in the Shadowhunter Chronicles. If you don't know, the Shadowhunter Chronicles contains the Mortal Instruments series, the Infernal Devices trilogy, the Bane Chronicles, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, and the first two books in the Dark Artifices trilogy. And today we are going to be discussing Lord of Shadows. I'm not going to be diving into any non-spoilery things, but I will just say that I love this book, I love the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and this book gave me a lot of feelings. So that's all I'm going to say as far as the non-spoilers go. I am now going to be jumping into a massive spoilery section, so if you have not read this book, go read this book. If you have not started the Shadowhunter Chronicles, get started on it because it's an epic journey, and you're going to want to join us for the ride. But yeah, it's spoiler time, guys! So if you haven't read this book, go away. If you have read this book, let's discuss. Before I get started, I just really have to say that I'm really proud of myself for this set I have back here, and I'll do a close-up at the very end of the video, so you have to wait for the end of the video to kind of get a closer-up view of what's behind me back here. I love the interactions we get between Jace and Kit in this book. Mind you, we don't get a lot, but I live for the interactions that we do get. You can tell that Kit still doesn't know what to think of Jace. Like, he kind of has the same reactions to Jace as I do sometimes. Kind of like, is this dude for real? I mean, it's pretty understandable when Jace makes comments like, as for Shadowhunters go, I'm a pretty big deal. Not to intimidate you. Jace, the most humble Shadowhunter in existence. We see a little bit of frustration with Kit at the beginning of this book, but it's super understandable considering his situation. And it was just really nice seeing Jace like reach out to him and seeing him just try to comfort Kit and seeing him just convince Kit that he needs to give this whole Shadowhunter thing some more time. Even though I wasn't super on board with this whole Mark and Emma fake relationship deal, I still couldn't help but treasure some of the great moments they had together. For example, Mark getting a fish and attempting to give it to Emma. I have won you a fish, my fair one. I couldn't keep a fish alive. I kill plants by just looking at them. It's too bad. I was going to name it Magnus because it's got sparkly scales. I supposed I had better let it go. Does anyone want to tell him that goldfish are freshwater fish and can't survive in the ocean? Not really. Did he just kill Magnus? I just really cherish the humorous moments throughout this book because compared to Lady Midnight, there weren't as many like hilarious moments, but that's just because this book is on a completely darker level. And next thing we know, squid-like demons are appearing. Oh, I wonder why these squid-like demons are appearing now. Huh, Malcolm Fade maybe? Duh. So the Shadow Squad's gotta squad up and take out them squid-like demons, yo. And let me just say, Shadowhunters still really need to work on their timing when it comes to communication. They also just need to work on communication as a whole in general, because this is when Julian thinks it's a grand idea to confront Emma about Mark. Why do they always choose these sticky situations as the time to sort things out? Hi, hello, squid-like demons heading your way, not time to face your feelings head on. The squid-like demons might be trying to pull the Ferris wheel off the Pierre, but Emma, I really think we should talk. Not the time, Julian. I really hated the invasion of the cohort in this book. Oh my gosh, it drove me nuts, especially Zara. I don't even want to talk about Zara. She doesn't even deserve to be talked about. They all act entitled and superior, and I just wasn't having it. You ain't all that in a bag of chips, yo. You're disrespectful and rude, and I don't like you. The second they arrived, I wanted them gone. In my head, as I was reading this book, I was just like, you don't even go here. At first it's cool because we get Diego. Christina and him hit it off again. But then we have Miss Zara pop up and we find out that Zara and Diego are engaged. Which I know in the end it's like, oh, Diego wasn't really engaged to her. It was all a part of this master plan. But like, if it's a master plan, why aren't you telling your girl? If you want to have a good relationship and not have trust issues, you gotta communicate things like this, Diego. Shadowhunter's back at it again with the bad communication. In that moment though, with the whole Diego-Zara reveal of their engagement, I was just like, what the Nephilim? What in Nephilim's name? He did not. He got a side chick over here. How could anybody treat Christina that way? Perfect Diego? More like cheater Diego. Stay away from our precious Christina. Did anyone else find Julian super creepy after all of that went down and he's like, I know a way you can get revenge. There are ways you could hurt him without touching him, Julian said. He said it very low so that only Emma could hear him. And there was something dark in his voice, something that made her shiver. Creeper, creeper. Again, I don't even really want to talk about Zara in this video because I could honestly make a 2-hour video on why I despise Zara so much. I feel like we all probably could, but I loved that moment when Zara was like trying to impress Kit and talking about how she had met Jace before. I met Jace Herondale once. She looked around expectantly. Wow, said Kit. He really was a Herondale, Emma thought. He'd managed to insert Jace levels of indifference and sarcasm into the one word. I knew Kit and Julian going to the Shadow Market was a bad idea. I was just like, don't go, please don't go. But of course they don't listen to me and they go. I still feel really bad for Kit in this moment because at this point he still doesn't feel like he belongs to the Shadowhunter world and he wants to go to the Shadow Market because he feels like that's where he does belong and that's where he's been raised. But then he gets there and he realizes that everybody's basically turned their backs on him. And it's just really sad. And they get this awful threat from Barnabas too. A dark time is coming for Shadowhunters, said Barnabas. A terrible time. Their power will be crushed, their might thrown down into the dirt, and their blood will run like water through the riverbeds of the world. And he tells Kit that he should just like stick to hiding. Talk to Kit that way and I will find you and I will probably be too intimidated by you to do anything to you. But still, please don't talk to Kit that way, just please stay away from our Kit Kat. I love how we low-key have this moment where Clare is hinting at the fact that she was rooting for this like forbidden love thing between Julian and Emma. Then she quickly changes the subject and drops the whole Jace asked me to marry him bomb. Sure, change the subject, Clary, but we see you. I really don't like the fact that Clary is having dreams about dying. I really don't feel like that's a good sign. I really love the relationship that was forming between Ty, Kit, and Livy. I'm sorry, but every time I think of Livy now, I get emotional. I just want to burst into tears because I'm still not over it. We'll talk about that later. I feel like Kit and Ty are like the next Hardy Boys. Find me a more iconic duo, I dare you. I got major feels when Jace and Clary gave Kit the Herondale Ring. It just made my heart so happy. Can you guys tell that I just really like Kit a lot? I feel like I spent so much of this video just talking about Kit. I came up with this great theory as to how to break the Parabatai bond. Are you guys ready for this like earth-shattering information? You guys know how good I am at theories. Emma and Julian are making out when it's lightning outside. What if they got shocked by lightning and it broke the Parabatai bond? I know guys, best theory hands down. Please don't take me seriously right now. Every time Emma and Julian are together and like something around them is happening, I'm like, ooh, maybe that could break the Parabatai bond. So Gwen, whom I now love, but I will talk about that later, hits up the Institute and he's like, yo, y'all better go save Kieran. If you don't go, he's gonna die. And at first I'm like, oh, Mark's gonna go. There's no way he's not. And then he doesn't. And I was shocked. But then Cassandra Clare pulls a fast one on us and he ends up going. And I was shook. How convenient is it that Christina just so happens to have that pendant that slows down time in the fairylands? So convenient. Honestly though, I was so on edge the whole time they were in Fairy. They're being easily manipulated by all the Fae. Runes aren't working. Witchlight isn't working. What in the Fae is happening to her? Then I came up with another theory, you guys, about this whole Parabatai bond. What if Emma and Julian moved to the Faelands? Since nothing Shadowhunter related works there, maybe their bond doesn't really work there. Don't you guys just love my theories? They're so great. They're earth-shattering. Are you shooketh right now? You shouldn't be because my theories are terrible. When Christina spilled the beans to Mark that Emma and Julian were a thing, I was just like, uh-oh, spaghetti-o. What have you done, Christina? So then we have this whole trial by combat thing that's hosted by the Unseelie King, and Emma is chosen to represent, and I can't deny the fact that I was panicking on her behalf. Even though we know that Emma is hardcore, we also know that the Fae like to play dirty. And dirty they did play by manipulating her into thinking that she was fighting her father. Like, that's a lower than low blow. I just love how that chapter ended with the reveal of, ooh, she's fighting her father. And then it's like, we now interrupt this program for an emergency as the Institute is invaded by sea demons. I was throwing my hands in the air yelling bless when Diana ended Zara. Diana whirled on her. Shut up, you stupid child, she said in a voice of cold fury. As if the Dearborns didn't cower in Zurich during the Dark War. You've never been in a real battle. I have. Don't speak another word. Diana, you on fire. Orders? Kill them all, obviously. And this is when we get the not so shocking reveal that Malcolm Fade is alive. Look who's back again. Malcolm's back. Malcolm Fade. He wants some Blackthorn blood. When he says Blackthorn blood, there isn't any chance he just means like an ounce, maybe a pint. I thought of that too. So we have a majority of the Blackthorn family portal to the London Institute to protect that Blackthorn blood. Arthur though, he stays back because he's the one that goes and sacrifices himself. Back at the Faelands, we have more madness going on. It's a mad chase and the Queen of the Seelie Court comes through and she ends up saving our squad. I feel weird saying thank you to the Seelie Queen, but thank thank you, I guess. So the Seelie Queen gets Jules to watch as Arthur goes to sacrifice himself. I love that even though Arthur was heading to his death, he still took a moment to like respectfully drag Malcolm. I would rather be mad my way than yours, said Arthur. You had so much. Love once and power and immortal life, and you have thrown it away as if it were trash by the side of the road. I wonder if she will still love you the way you are now. So Malcolm sheds Arthur's blood and brings back good old Annabelle, and she, in return, kills him. Respectable! So what do you know? The Seelie Queen knows how to break the parabatai bond. But is she gonna tell us? Of course not. We gotta do the Fae a favor. I was dying when Kit got his first rune and was able to see Jessamine, and he's just like yelling and freaking out. So Christina and Mark have been bound together, and yet again we have another binding spell that we must figure out how to get out of. Who else is gonna be bound together? Step right up, get bound today and want to be unbound tomorrow. I hated when Ty, Livy, and Kit decided that they were going to go to the Shadow Market. It wasn't a good idea for Kit to go early on in the book, and for him to go again was an even worse idea. And of course a freaking bloodbath goes down. Thankfully Magnus arrives to the party and takes care of things. Did they break the accords? Barnabas snarled. One of them stabbed me. Which one? Magnus asked. Barnabas pointed at Kit. Dreadful business, Magnus said. His left hand was down by his side, giving Kit a thumbs up. It was really interesting getting a peek into Annabelle's past and just seeing everything that she had been through, how she spent like 5 years unable to talk or communicate, how she was treated. And it was also just really interesting seeing how Annabelle saw Malcolm bringing her back to life as like him taking away a gift that she had been given. I love that scene when Magnus gets back to Alec and he's like wondering where the kids are. I left them with a nice girl named Christina. She said she likes children. You just left our children with strangers? Everyone else is asleep, said Alec. I couldn't deal with Diana reading the report on Zara, and it's just like Zara taking credit for everyone else's accomplishments. Why would her friends say that they witnessed all of that? Is it just because Zara is so manipulative? Like if I was friends with Zara, which let's be real, I probably wouldn't be friends with Zara, I would not let her control me. I gotta talk about my new ship, and that is Gwen and Diana. I just love how Cassandra Clare handled Diana coming out as trans. To me personally, it didn't feel like it was being used as shock factor at all. It just felt like it was a part of Diana's character and she was just revealing something about herself to Gwen. And the way Gwen handled the whole situation it just hit the feels. I really don't like these dreams that the Shadowhunters are having. The fact that Emma dreams about Sebastian being her father. Why is she having dreams like this? I don't like it. I'm really interested in this whole Christina, Mark, and Kieran relationship thing that's happening. Like it feels like they all have feelings for each other. Christina gives off vibes that she's starting to have feelings for both Kieran and Mark, and Kieran's giving off vibes that he has feelings for both of them, and Mark is doing the same thing. The whole Jaime and Drew thing was really interesting in this book as well, and it was so interesting when Jaime left and Drew had realized that he left his bag, and she touches that weapon in his bag that he had inherited. This is when we meet the Fae Ash. It's a very quick situation though, like she meets Ash and then she's teleported back and we don't explore it anymore. Cassandra Clare left us hanging. Not the first time she's done that. You forgot to reel in that storyline, Cassandra Clare. Okay, you're probably gonna reel it in the next book, but I would have liked if you would have reeled it in this book. But it has me thinking, Sebastian baby or Lost Heir? Which is it? I don't know, or is it both? I don't know. I'm really curious and also a little bit shook over this. The whole Riders situation had me scared for my Shadowhunter babies. Ty, Livy, and Kit are surrounded, and then Emma and Julian are surrounded. So let's be real, Emma and Julian handle themselves so well. Like, Emma's got some nerves in this situation. We seek, said Fowl, and we find. We are the searchers. We have been under the waves to search and above them. We have been in fairy, and in the realms of the damned, and on battlefields, and in the dark of night, and the bright of day. In all our lives, there has only been one thing we have sought and not found. A sense of humor, Emma suggested. So Emma ends up killing Fowl, and it just has me nervous for what they're gonna do to Emma, for what she did. I could not deal with Magnus yet again, walking on some Shadowhunters, getting it on. Way to stay on brand, Magnus. So Annabelle shows up and she reveals that she received a letter from Ty, which by the way, that letter that Ty sent her just gave me so many feelings, so many emotions. She's decided that she's going to stand before the council, the Clave, and the Inquisitor and give her testimony. And this is when everything just goes insane, you guys. Magnus falls to the ground and I'm just like, please? Please don't let him be dead. Please protect Magnus at all costs. I was so peeved at the madness and the disorder in the court. Like, where is the respect, y'all? The mortal sword is used, and this is when we lose 2 really important lives. I can't deal. I can't deal. We lose Robert, and then we lose Livy. Ah. I'm still upset over it. Like, I can't think about it. I'm just really sad. Like, I'm so sad about it. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna talk about as far as this book goes. I really enjoyed Lord of Shadows. It did break me completely, but this book was just so freaking good. You guys should hit me up in the comments and let's discuss Lord of Shadows. Let me know your favorite moment. Let me know your theories. Let me know the most devastating thing to you. Just hit me up in the comments and let's talk about Lord of Shadows. Before I go, here's a close-up on the backdrop behind me. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to be notified as to when I post new videos, be sure and go and hit subscribe. Also, you can hit the bell icon and you'll be notified as to when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew.